Welcome to Oddball. I'm Charlotte Wilder. That's Amin Elhassan, as always, in an undisclosed location. But I, folks, am in New York City, where we've got a game 2 tonight, Knicks Pacers. We also have a bunch of other stuff going on, so we're going to get to that first. But first, Amin, how are you?
I'm good. I laugh every single time I hear that intro because I think about that woman getting into that studio and singing just that part and then cutting the check and then going home and saying, hey, that's me on the Oddball theme song, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that.
I hope she knows and I hope she's proud.
Well, Charlotte, I think the first thing we got to start with is Jamal Murray proud. Jamal Murray proud because he didn't get suspended. He merely got fined $100,000. This for throwing a towel and then throwing an ice pack and then flashing the money sign at the refs. And I gotta admit, man, I thought this was weak sauce by the NBA. That's right, I'm using my sports radio voice now. Weak sauce by the NBA because Rudy Gobert got fined $100,000 for calling into question the integrity of the game. I said he ought to be suspended for that. Jamal Murray not only called into question the integrity of the game, but also threw items onto the court. Charlotte, if a fan did that, they'd be banned from the arena for life.
Yes.
Right? Like this wasn't like a guy like kind of angrily gesturing and then it slipped out of his hands and found his way. He multiple times threw things onto the court. For him to escape without a suspension is kind of ridiculous. And I get it. You don't want to influence the playoffs, right? Like that would obviously change the course of wherever this series is headed, even though it looks like it's headed somewhere pretty specific already. But like the behaviors cannot be above kind of a certain level of decorum. That wasn't a guy on the court reacting to a bad call. It's a guy on the bench throwing items onto the court, one of which landed in the middle of the playing field.
Yeah, I'm shocked someone didn't blow up their knee on that. Truly, I saw that on the court. And it was like someone threw a heat pad. Like as it was unfolding, I was like, what is going on? And, you know, I mean, this is so... I'm sort of surprised to see this from Jamal Murray just because I personally am not aware of behavior in the past from him that seems in line with this. I think what did strike me is that Michael Malone in the beginning of that game flipped out at the refs. Flipped out, like was MFing them all over the place. Like the assistant coaches came in and did the thing where they're like, haha, nothing to see here. He's not talking. Players got him. Aaron Gordon was trying to get him away. He wasn't given a tech for that. He was like I thought he was going to get thrown out. Like it was a level of anger that I wonder, did that set a tone for the rest of the team where Jamal Murray then feeds off of that?
Yeah, I mean, set the tone, feed off of it, complain about the refs, complain to the refs, argue with the refs, cuss them out. Throwing things onto the court has nothing to do with the ref. That's dangerous for everybody, including your own teammates. Like, if that's not what is suspendable then? What is Charlotte? We've had players suspended in the NBA from playoff games for stepping onto the floor during an altercation, not going and punching somebody, not shoving somebody. Literally, I was on the bench and I got up and I stood on the floor and I went back, or I ran over to help up a teammate that got knocked down. That warranted suspensions for people. You're telling me a guy throwing stuff twice doesn't?
No, I'm just saying I completely agree with you. I mean, I just feel like something like the Nuggets are coming apart at the seams in the face of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Like something is, they can't stop them. It's frustrating, and they are acting out in ways that like that is suspendable. That is definitely suspendable.
Or is this the bullet that you dodge that makes you realize, oh man, I've been living my life wrong, and this is the turning point. And by the way, as we pointed out several times, game 3 isn't until Friday. They've got a lot of time. They got 2 more days pretty much of just chilling before they actually have to do something about it.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move on to Cleveland and Boston because what? All
right. No, let's everyone get your nightcap on and like maybe a glass of water by the bedside. I mean, one of those old timey candles that like Ebenezer Scrooge used to walk around with. Yeah.
Like a nightgown. It's a snooze fest. Yeah. Boring. Are you bored? You want to skip it? You wanted to skip it?
No, this is your topic. Go ahead.
Look, it is. It's not like thrilling basketball to watch another team just destroy another one, but it is thrilling to watch a team be so excellent to the point where what can anybody do to stop them? Derrick White. Well, you have thoughts on him. I want to hear those. But the fact that the Celtics are out there, everybody will double up on Tatum or Brown, and then Derrick White's like, you do know that I'm like probably going to hit a three, right? I mean. It's remarkable, and it's just fun. Like, it's fun to see excellence. Sue me.
Charlotte, you want to hear the most ridiculous stat of all time? I learned this last night. In games where Derrick White has attempted, not made, mind you, just attempted 12 three-pointers, the Celtics have won 21 games in a row.
No.
21 straight games in a row they've won when he attempts 12 three-pointers. I couldn't even tell you whether he shot 1 for 12 or 12 for 12 in those games. Just the mere fact that he's attempting. I watch him play, and he had another one last night where he's coming off like a pin down, went behind the back, step back, three with the shot clock winding down, drained it. And I just said, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what's happening here? Because I'll pull the curtain back for everybody. My NBA knowledge rests on like the bedrock of like people are who they are, and if there is a change is gradual. It's not this like about pace. And between that and watching Luke Cornett be able to play rotation minutes and not be taken advantage of, I feel like Aaron Paul's character in Breaking Bad when he says this. You can't keep getting away with it. Well. He says, he can't keep getting away with this. But, you know.
I thought you hadn't seen Breaking Bad.
I haven't, but I've seen that clip. It's like, I only know two things from that show. That clip and the when Walter White goes, ooh, you got me. Like, those two great memes.
Because you know why? Those are things that you say in real life, and you just saw them on TV, and you're like, oh, I say that.
Well, I didn't see them on TV. I saw them on my, like, Twitter.
On the internet. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whatever.
But Charlotte, it's like it's weird because the Celtics, by the numbers, are an unstoppable force. One of the greatest teams of all time through the regular season, and certainly through the first round of the playoffs and game one of the second round. But like I watch them, I'm like, when Tatum has the ball, I don't feel this fear factor when Tatum has the ball. I don't feel this intimidation when Jalen Brunson has the ball. When Derrick White has the ball, I'm like, good God, man, send the triple team. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's like, man, I've never seen him miss a shot in the last 3 years. He hasn't missed a single shot. I must be when I'm looking away. Don't.
It's the eye test thing. It's like the Brunson thing. Teams do not go after him the way they go after these other two players, especially when Tatum goes cold. When he can't shoot during a game, he's probably not going to be able to shoot during the rest of the game. So maybe start paying attention to Derrick White. And it has been great for my fandom because, I've missed Marcus Smart, and Derrick White's like quiet determination has given me a little bit of that dog in him back again.
Okay. All right. So Charlotte, I want to play a little game with you. Like I put the producers on this. I said, I need something new. Something revolutionary, something we've never done on the show before. And they said, we got it for you. It's called the Wick check. Yes, here it is. Oh, no, not heat check. No, Wick check. It's completely new.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is how it goes. Well, it's a scale. And you're going to tell me on a scale of like 1 to 3, where 1 is, I guess, hand-to-hand combat. 2 is a Boban book to the mouth. And 3 is using a horse as a weapon to destroy people. Where on the scale does John Wick's perform? Oh, there it is. There's John Wick right there. Wait. Charlotte, the Celtics performance thus far. Where are you?
Okay, so first of all, are we doing this because I said they were like 5 John Wicks on the court?
That's
Secondly,
not John Wick.
Is that Joe Wick?
That looks like
is
Michael
that Joe
Pena.
Missoula Wick?
Oh, okay. I thought it was a Michael
Joe
Pena with a wig on. Okay, so Joe Wick. It's Joe Missoula. All right. Just give a thumbs up.
So I need to decide.
Yeah.
I mean, this is weird. This is, I guess, what's the top one? A pencil through the head?
Here's the messed up part. I could see Joe Missoula watching John Wick and like this being his new favorite movie that he watches every day.
I am shocked that he didn't say John Wick when we asked him what movie he's watching this year. I can see him being like, so what you want to do with the Cavs is if you have a pencil and then jam their heads into it, and the team being like, oh God, Joe is so weird.
So where are we at here, Charlotte? What level?
Yeah,
of the
top, the pencil one. I can't even see what that is. What is that?
Horse as a weapon is the highest.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Here's another confession. I've never seen John Wick. I tried watching the first one, and I was like, something about a dog, and I just got bored and stopped watching. So
you want to know the weirdest thing?
You've never seen it either?
I have seen John Wick.
Oh, wow. How about that?
Did I like it? No. Did I hate every second that I was in that movie theater? Absolutely. I mean, it's sort of fun, though. It is sort of. But I don't like the pencil through the eye stuff. It's gross.
For the longest time, I used to get John Wick confused with Jack Reacher. I could not tell which one was which.
It's very similar. I also sometimes get Keanu Reeves and Nick Cage mixed up, which I've heard is disrespectful to one of them.
Yeah, well, you know what isn't disrespectful is what Oklahoma City did to Dallas. It was respectful. I've never seen a respectful ass whooping like that. Usually ass whoopings are braggadocious. They shook their hand and said, good game, and then destroyed them.
You know why? I think I know why, because Oklahoma City kept pulling away by 10, and then they would let the Mavs catch up, and then they would pull away by 10 again until the end of the game where they were like, oh, I think we're just going to kick your ass.
So Jalen Williams, not that Jalen Williams, but the other Jalen Williams, scored the same amount of points as all five Mavs starters in the fourth quarter. Luka only had 19 points. He shot 6 of 19 from the field, 1 of 8 from 3. He was limping out there. And the Mavs have now lost 5 straight game ones, Charlotte. That's the bad news. The good news is in the previous 4, they're 3-1 in those series when they lose game 1. Yeah. So not exactly terrifying territory for them. That's
wild that their 5 starters were I mean, look, Luka didn't look like himself. He was lumbering in a way. Like, Luka is always lumbering. Luka and Jokic have that Eastern European lumber to them, but he looked, I mean, there was that time he tweaked is it his knee? Now I'm spacing. Is it his knee or his ankle?
It's a lower extremity. Let's go with that one and keep it moving.
Okay, cool. Something on his leg looked very uncomfortable, and he sat down on the thing that holds the basket, the hoop to the ground or whatever. Terminology is a thing that you can live with or you can live without.
His bottom arm. What they call that over there? And then he sat on
his bottom arm, and he had to sit on the basket bucket. And he looked like he was in a lot of pain, and then he just didn't fully recover. Do you think, I mean, I don't know. Do we know anything about if he's as hurt as he seemed? I don't know. I mean, I have no idea what's going on.
The post-game press conference, he said no excuses, and it didn't seem like he was someone on the verge of not playing in game 2. So I'm going to assume he is going to play. But I want to talk about what the Thunder did rather than what the Mavericks didn't do, because that's the story of the game, right? And as you said, this was kind of a nip and tuck game, and then all of a sudden they just blew the hinges off. And they did that with a stretch of what Jason Kidd called 11 of 14 threes, I believe, at one point. And, you know, I was asked in the pre-show meeting, what do you, you know, it was like, is this series over before it even begins? And so when someone shoots 11 of 14 from 3, you kind of just have to shit, all right. Like, there's not much you can do about that. And I, on one hand, I think Dallas obviously struggled offensively mightily, and Luka didn't look great. And I thought their bigs were a little intimidated by Chet Holmgren. On the other hand, it's like they shot 11-14 from 3 at one point. Like, what are you supposed to do there other than shoot 11 of 14 back? If you don't, if you're not hitting threes, then it's kind of a moot point. But like I said, they've lost 4 game ones previously before that, and they're 3-1 in those series. So if there's any team that should feel at peace or at ease of losing game 1, it would be the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, it's what the Heat did to the Celtics. Like, if you hit everything, then there's not a lot the other team can do if they're also not hitting everything. I'm excited to watch this go on. I love this Thunder team. They are so joyous. They are so talented for being so young. But we're going to move on to Pacers Knicks, because that is tonight at 8 at Madison Square Garden. Mitchell Robinson is likely out for the playoffs. I think they said he'd be reevaluated in 6 to 8 weeks with a left ankle injury.
It's a long time.
That's big. That's big. I mean,
6 to 8 weeks is like game 7 of the finals. Like that's not.
Yeah.
Hey, he's coming
It's
back in a
over.
minute now. Yeah.
And this was an injury that he sustained. This was what he was out for during the regular season. He came back. He re-injured it in that game against the Sixers. And he tweeted this. He said, "This is not over. I will seek revenge. This is so effed up, dog. Like I don't even know what to say right now. I feel so bad for him.
I feel bad for him, but also like it is funny the idea that Mitchell Robinson, not his agent, not his teammates, not his coaches, not his front office, not his best friends, not his mom, not his dad, not his cousins, not even his doorman. It's like, nope, I got to express these frustrations to the internet.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you got to tweet through it. Ask Kevin Durant. What do you think about this game tonight? Because obviously it was very close. There was a lot of wild stuff that happened in the last 2 minutes. It seems to be the Knicks' MO. Who do you have? I mean,
well, I mean, there's two ways to look at it. One way to look at it, the Knicks held serving, they won game one or whatever. The other way to look at it is, bless you, is that, you were down to the Pacers while Tyrese Halliburton looked terrible. And TJ McConnell was an unfathomable exercise for you. And yes, you pulled out the win, and again, with heroics from Brunson and all that stuff. But it's like, I don't know if you should ever feel confident about winning that way. Like that should be like a woof, we really escaped one. And so if you're the Pacers, I think you're thinking, hey, if Tyrese has a regular game, not even a great game, just have like an average game, maybe that's a different outcome. And by the way, we didn't even talk about like you want to yell at refs. Like that moving screen on Miles Turner at the end was kind of ridiculous. Also, you got to factor in the Mitchell Robinson injury, right? Mitchell Robinson being out. Yeah. Look, the Pacers get active on the glass. Like Miles Turner was active. Obi Toppin was active. So these are things that you've got one less big body basically to rely upon if you're Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks.
Tell me how you feel about Josh Hart right now, real quick.
Yeah, this is who he's always been. Like, everyone's like, this is not a Derrick White situation where it's like, yo, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I remember when you couldn't shoot and now you're doing step backs and all that stuff. Josh Hart is like, this is kind of who he's been his entire career. I'm not saying he hasn't gotten better, but it's like, this is in essence the day he was drafted. This is the type of player he's going to be. And what he's gotten now is just opportunity and chemistry, obviously, with the guys that he's playing with and a coach that believes in him. And Mitchell Robinson is hurt. And I was at a bar and a bartender asked me, yo, do you think this means more minutes for Sims? I said, no, I think this means more minutes for Josh Hart at the 5 now because he rebounds so well that I think Thibodeau trusts him on a way to like, yo, I trust him to be my rotation big above someone who hasn't played all year long.
Well, he's rising to the occasion, and we are going to rise to the occasion too next in Bet the Show. Welcome back to Oddball. It is time for Bet the Show. Bet the Show is sponsored by DraftKings. Stay tuned because you'll hear more about DraftKings and all it has to offer throughout the show. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Hell yeah.
Thank you. I was waiting for you to do that. Okay, the first bet is we are wondering, is it time to fade Brunson? Jalen Brunson has had 4 straight 40-point games. New York versus Indiana. I'm like, sometimes I say Indianapolis, but that's not it. It's the Indiana Pacers. It is game 2 tonight. The bet is Brunson under 37.5 points or Brunson over 37.5 points. Basically, is he going to get to 40 again?
Oh, bang that over. He's gonna have another one of these, man. I've given up on trying. Hey, you saw Dante DiVincenzo in that post game presser. Michael Jordan, like that's how I feel now when I see Jalen Brunson. I look at him, I just think Michael Jordan. Yeah, no, I'm going over on Jordan. This one.
Great, same. I love it. No debate. Fun sports show. Yep,
there you go. This is I like this sports show. A sports show where everyone agrees all the time.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson is Michael Jordan. Yes.
He is. Yes. Thank you. Indeed. I mean, continue. Yeah. The GOAT? Well, all right. Yes.
So we go from someone who's been consistently amazing to someone who seems to consistently underwhelm people all the time. It's Jason Tatum. Charlotte, now that the Celtics are winning and blowing people out and doing all awesome, but he didn't have a great game 1. He only had 18 points. He missed a lot of gimmies, some weird kind of one-legged Dirk Nowitzki style fadeaways. Brown and White, color scheme, both outscored them in game 1. So the bet is for game 2, Jason Tatum under 26.5 points, Charlotte. Minus 108.
You know, I would take that. I would take the Tatum under because I don't think that he is going to get over 26.5 points. I mean, I think that White has been performing at such a high level. The only thing is, like, are the Cavs finally going to realize, like, oh, maybe we should be keeping a closer eye on Derrick White. However, I think then they'll be like, wait, then we'll leave Tatum open and then he'll get hot. So we're going to keep guarding Tatum. I think they're going to galaxy brain themselves into not guarding Derrick White.
I like the idea, like, on the inside, the Cavs are having this very heated debate of how to guard it. And then, but to the external world, they're just laying there drooling, like, oh, like, you okay down there? I'm gonna go over.
Okay.
JB Bickerstaff talked about wanting to take away catch and shoot threes from the Celtics. Said, hey, we can live with the dribble up, pull up threes from them. What we can't live with is guys with their feet set wide open shooting. And so we have to do a better job of taking that away. And to me, that means more dribble up off the dribble threes, which of course means more Derrick White, but also it means Jason Tatum has a little bit more room to operate because the help defense is not as enthusiastic maybe as they were in game 1. I'm going to go over 26.5 for young Tatum.
There, now this is a real sports show. Now we're arguing. Oh, I think he's going to have the under.
About sports.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Sports.
Oddball. Oh, we love it. Okay, so we are, yes, very odd. Next odds that we're going to look at is whether Michael Jordan's record will be broken because his single game playoffs points record is 63. That happened on April 20th in 1986 in Boston. It was game 2 of round 1 game 2 of the Eastern Conference.
No, it was the first round. It was the first round, yeah.
Okay.
That's the stuff that MJ fans don't want to let you know. They let you know he scored the most points ever. They don't want to let you know that it was in the first round series that they lost, and in that game he lost as well. And also, he was golfing with Danny Ainge during that series. But other than that, he's never lost ever, ever, ever.
I thought you were going to say golfing with Bill Murray for Space Jam. Sorry. Anyway, I thought it was the Eastern Conference Finals, but it wasn't. That was a double overtime game. The odds for any player to break words are hard for me today. The odds for any player to break that record, I mean, in these playoffs is plus 2,000. Is it going to be Jalen Brunson? Is Jalen Brunson going to break him?
I would take that bet. Is that any player? I don't even have to name the player. Yeah. Just any player. 1,000%. I'm to 2,000%. I'm taking that bet. Look, the number of guys that are having explosive offensive performances, right? Not just this year, but these playoffs is there's no shortage of which. And I know they've been calling it a lot tighter. The whistle, a lot less tighter. It's been a lot more physical in the playoffs. But I still think, between the 3-point line and the pace and tempo, someone's going to do this. Jalen Brunson is on that list. I'll tell you who else on Donovan Mitchell, because at some point, Cavs not being able to score just turns into, well, I guess I'll shoot this every damn time down the court. I would say that Anthony Edwards, of course, how could I not remember Derrick White? Because he makes every shot anyway. So I don't think there's a shortage. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving. Like, there's a lot of guys walking around these playoffs who are explosive offensive players. I think it's only a matter of time before that happens. Will it happen this playoffs? Maybe not, but I think at plus 2,000, I'm willing to take that bet.
Okay. I feel like Michael Jordan will love it. I think he'll be so happy for whoever did it and feel really warm and fuzzy inside. And like the league is in good hands. I don't think he'll take it personally at all and release another 10-part docuseries about all the other records he holds. So for that alone, for Michael Jordan's happiness and warmth, I hope that this happens. Amin.
Yeah, one of our producers, Gabe Goodwin, is a huge Knicks fan, and he's been like
he's trying to get us to talk
pounding the drum for us to talk about. Is there any place on earth better than MSG right now? Because of course the Rangers and the Knicks are in the playoffs and they're playing well. I think it's the first time this has happened since '94 when the Rangers won it all and the Knicks lost in the finals. And guess what? History repeats itself, Gabe. Hope you love the Rangers.
Also, didn't mention the Met Gala. All right, everybody. Good night.